Introducing IP360S Radio, a dual-mode POC plus license-free radio. This is a unique radio in the market, providing two different technologies in a single sleek body, offering unmatched convenience and flexibility. It can be used in the following different modes. 1. As a pure license-free walkie-talkie. 2. As a pure POC walkie-talkie. 3. In a mix mode, as a repeater for LF walkie-talkies at one end and as a POC radio at other end. 4. As a repeater for LF walkie-talkies at different locations. Let's discuss these options in detail. License-free walkie-talkies, due to the power limitation requirement of half watt, provides limited distance, which is normally about 1 kilometer radius in cities like Delhi. The operation is simple. User A presses the LF PTT and starts speaking. The receiver, a single person or a group, will hear the message. Once the user A releases PTT, any other person in the group who first presses PTT will speak and rest will hear. POC radios, or PTT over cellular radios, as the name suggests, uses cellular network to enable communication. A SIM card is inserted in each of the radio that lets the IP360S to join a cellular network. The operation is simple. User A presses the POC PTT and starts speaking. The receiver, a single person or a group, will hear the message. Once the user A releases the PTT, any other person in the group who first presses the PTT will speak and rest will hear. Mix mode, as the name suggests, combines two different modes. Let's consider a scenario where a factory is using multiple LF radios, any brand or model, but frequency should be between 446 to 446.2 MHz. Same procedure will follow. One user, let's say user A, will press the PTT and start speaking. Others will listen. When user A releases the PTT, then any other user in the group who first presses the PTT can speak. Now consider a scenario where a senior person is outside the factory but still wants to remain connected to the group. How to achieve that? We will provide one IP360S radio to that senior person. To enable the communication, we will place one IP360S radio at the factory and then add it to the LF group. Note that the IP360S with senior person will be in mix mode, whereas the IP360S at factory will be in the repeater mode. Let's understand the flow of the communication. User A at factory will press PTT and start speaking. IP360S, which is part of group, will receive it in analog mode and transmit it further in POC mode. Through the cellular network, it will be received by the remote IP360S. Now if the remote IP360S has to initiate the call, then POC PTT is to be pressed and then the user will speak. The call will transmit using the cellular network and will be received by the IP360S radio at the factory. Everyone in the group will hear it. Repeater mode, as the name suggests, repeats the message. Let's consider a factory using multiple LF radios, any brand or model, but should be between 446 to 446.2 MHz frequency band. Same procedure will follow. One user, let's say user A, will press the PTT and start speaking. Others will listen. When user A releases the PTT, then any other user in the group who first presses the PTT can speak. Now consider a scenario where there are two different factories or offices or a similar setup that are outside the LF communication reach but still wants to remain connected. How to achieve that? We will place one IP360S radio to factory 1 and add it to the local group. Similarly, we will place another IP360S radio at the factory 2 and then add it to that factory's LF group. Note that both the IP360S radio will be in the repeater mode. Let's understand the flow of communication. User A at factory 1 will press PTT and start speaking. IP360S, which is part of group, will receive it in the analog mode and transmit it further in the POC mode. Using the cellular network, it will be received by IP360S at factory 2 and heard by everyone in the group. Now if anyone at factory 2 has to speak, then the user will press the PTT and start speaking. Again, the IP360S, which is part of the group, will receive it in analog mode and transmit it further in POC mode. The call will transmit using the cellular network and will be received by the IP360S radio at factory 1. Everyone in that group will be able to hear it. We hope you have learned how to use different modes of IP360S. It is a versatile radio and can help solve many communication requirements. You can always contact us with your queries and suggestions. Thank you.